Draco Malfoy is a werewolf. Draco Malfoy is one of the best Harry Potter enemies that he ever faced in the whole time, but is Draco Malfoy a werewolf? This is the series that I'm going to name Potter Theories. So welcome back to Potter Access, and we look at, is Draco Malfoy a werewolf in Harry Potter? Now, I know what you're thinking. Draco Malfoy, a werewolf? Do not be stupid, but there is so many Harry Potter evidence that exist through the series fandom that link to it. So I've gone back through the 6th and the 7th book, and I've seen from the DracoMalfoyWerewolf.com some of the most brutal evidence to suggest that Draco Malfoy is a werewolf. Firstly, Draco is not a Death Eater. At the beginning of the 6th book, when Harry is hiding in Borgin and Burke's and Draco threatens Borgin and shows him something on his arm, Harry obviously thinks it's the Draco's arm is the dark mark, but we never see it. Harry has this thing of always immediately assuming things that turn out to be false, and he usually wakes up in the middle of the night months later, it's usually right, or if he talks about it with Hermione and she agrees, it is usually right, but Hermione doesn't think Draco is a Death Eater, so he has probably not got the dark mark. Another reason he doesn't have the dark mark is that there's a barrier towards the astronomy tower that you can only pass through if you have a dark mark in the 6th book when the Death Eaters infiltrate Hogwarts. This barrier goes up immediately after Draco goes up the tower and comes down just before he goes down. So that means that he wouldn't have been able to get through the barrier, such as Lupin and Neville, who also couldn't get through the barrier. Additionally, Draco is never treated as a Death Eater, as there is no reason for Voldemort to give Draco a dark mark. So that means, what is he? One ongoing thing in the 6th book is that Draco is sickly and stressed out. People may assume that is because he thinks Voldemort's going to kill him, but this is supposedly because of his quest. But Rowling does misdirect that a lot. Fenrir Greyback is introduced as a character who specifically punishes people who mess up by biting their children. Remus Lupin is explicitly mentioned as an example of this, and so is Bill Weasley, who obviously gets turned almost, or not completely turned, but he's also shown by Fenrir Greyback in that one. But relatedly, Lucius' demonstrated punishments do not seem enough for his transgressions. At the end of the 5th book, by the standards we are supposed to accept from Voldemort by this point in the series, it is also important to keep in mind that Lucius also mishandles Riddle's diary, resulting in the destruction of 1/7 of Voldemort's soul. So Lucius Malfoy obviously messed up, and we know that, Draco has obviously got to pay the price for it. But Voldemort does say to Draco, maybe you can babysit the cubs, when they're talking about Remus and Tonks having a baby. But does that mean like, oh, they're gonna have babies, or is that relating to, he said that to Draco because Draco is also been bitten as a werewolf, so maybe you can show that. For us, the nail in the coffin is that while showing Borgin the mark on his arm, Draco says that Fenrir Greyback is a close personal friend and he'd hate for him to pay a visit. And if the thing on Draco's arm and Borgin's Burke was not a dark mark, which it is not, what else could it have possibly shown Borgin to make him so frightened? Finally, Rowling has said in an interview that one scene in the 3rd movie, there was a moment that foreshadowed something she knew was coming that gave her the chills. In that movie is Draco impersonates a werewolf and does a wolf howl. This also works for the arc of the flipping of the Malfoy family, who takes care of themselves instead of following Voldemort. It makes more sense for them to throw away decades of servitude if one of them has been turned into a half-blood, making them ideological, incompatible with Voldemort's pure-blood regime. So why hide it? There is a precedent for J.K. Rowling to reveal only the tip on the iceberg in some of her characterizations. For example, Rowling was originally going to write a whole arc about Dean Thomas's family, but instead she focused on Neville. Additionally, Dumbledore's love of Grindelwald is never addressed during any of the books. It was only revealed by J.K. Rowling during a Q&A after all the books had been published. There are likely many other elements of the story that have been left behind in the scenes for one reason or another. It may be entirely possible that Draco's reveal is planned for the 7th book for example, but got cut for pages. Rowling has new content being released by book and could be saving this to reveal on Pottermore for the 7th book. One reason this would be really cool, it makes Draco's relationship with Snape even more interesting, because obviously Draco is in the 6th book, him and Snape are talking a lot, and like Draco gets annoyed with Snape a lot, but maybe the reason that their relationship could be explored even further is that Snape is supplying him with the Wolfsbane potion that he supplied with Lupin all the way back. So guys, let me know in the comments, do you guys think that Draco Malfoy could be a werewolf? Do you think that is likely? Do you think that Draco Malfoy is a werewolf? Let me know in the comments. As always, make sure to subscribe, make sure not to howl like Draco Malfoy, make sure to like the video. I will see you guys in the next Potter Access video. Check out all the other content throughout all my channels, and do not be afraid, Draco Malfoy may be lurking in your garden this very evening.